Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Ultima 9 Ascension, and when last we left off, we're currently exploring the city of Yu, the supposed city of justice. There's little justice going on here, however. Case in point, Raven is on trial for murder, and we're pretty sure that she hasn't committed the crime that she's on trial for. We need to try and clear her name, but before we do that, we're going to explore all of these buildings that are high up in the trees. But before we do that, we're going to head back to the library. But Kiko, I hear you say, why do we need to go back to the library? Surely we've done everything that we need to there. You'd think that, but there's actually something very important that we need to do. There's a puzzle that needs to be solved, and the clue is right here. Please return all books to their proper shelves when you are through reading them. I read that before and dismissed it as a little bit of flavour, but it's actually the hint you need to take these books and put them back where they belong. This blue book goes here, and when you hear that click, you know that you're solving a puzzle. This book goes here. And finally, this yellow book goes here. And with that, that bookshelf disappears to reveal a book that appears to be floating above the thing that's meant to be holding it. But let's ignore that and read. Book of Justice. Bear is the mantra that unlocks the power of justice. To find the symbol of justice, one must find a being who is pure and knows none of the petty prejudices that affect men. Such a being has not been seen in Britannia for many, many years, although it is rumoured that one such creature was last sighted in the mountains to the northeast of the city of Yu. And that's marvellous, because we have one of the three things now that we need to cleanse the Shrine of Justice, the mantra. And we know where we can seek the sigil. Then all we'll need is the corrupted glyph, and that, of course, is going to be in the nearby dungeon. If memory serves, I think the dungeon near here is the dungeon wrong. Now let's go up here and see what places we can find. I think Yu has a tavern. Now that looks like a pretty big building, so we'll start there. And this is indeed the tavern. Maybe we can get a drink and find some information. First things first, let's see who's here. There are 3 people and someone tending the bar. Let's talk to you first.
Here's to the trees in which you live, and may my water never fall on your head.
I highly hope that never happens. Also, I think that is a digitized version of an actual painting, and I did not mean to walk onto the counter. I didn't even know that was possible from there. But either way, let's talk to you now. Greetings.
If you're looking for a drink in this here place, you're likely to die of thirst.
Oh? First things first, let's get introductions out of the way. I'm the Avatar. Who are you?
What's your name, friend?
Name's Sven. Good to meet you.
Well met, Sven. Why can't we get a drink?
Don't they serve drinks here?
Only if you sign some damn release form. Me, I don't sign no such papers just to get myself a drink. No wonder the owner of this place was thrown in jail. He's got to be guilty of something. I hope that he and that pirate gal get what's coming to him.
Wait, you need to sign a form to get a drink? I'm surprised this establishment is still open. And what do you know of this pirate now that you mention Raven?
What do you know of the pirate?
I know that she's a pirate and that she's gonna get hung. That's what we do to pirates in the City of Justice.
No, in the City of Justice you actually need evidence to try someone for a crime. You don't just go, well, they've got to be guilty, and then just mete out justice. That's not justice. But I see you're not going to be persuaded, and I see that I'm also getting in the way of this NPC's pathfinding, so I'll move.
Right. Well, goodbye.
All right then, farewell.
Also, tiny vase of flowers there. Let's move and see. Nope, you seem quite stuck. Oh well, let's talk to you now.
Please don't bother me right now.
Alright then, I will not bother you. Instead, I'll talk to you.
Hi there. My name's Lucy. What can I do for you today, handsome?
Well, first, I'd like a little bit of information. Do you know anything about this trial that's going on?
Do you know anything about the trial?
No, sorry. There are too many trials to keep track of these days. Look, honey, I try to stay away from that stuff whenever I can. The courthouse is on the northeast side of town. That's about all I can tell you.
And that's some pretty good information. We now know where we need to go if we want to defend Raven. But let's see if we can, get a drink.
What do you have to drink?
Wait a minute. Before we go there, I need you to sign this drunkard's release form. It absolves this tavern from any liability if you get drunk and hurt yourself.
You want me to sign what?
It's just a standard release form, so we don't get into trouble if you do something stupid. Someone who got drunk and hurt himself sued Jean-Paul, the man who owns this place. Now we have to have all drinkers sign this release form. So, will you sign?
Are you going to let me see the small print? No, I'm not. Then in that case...
No, I can't sign something like that.
Then you don't get to drink.
That's what you think.
Goodbye, Lucy.
All right. Bye-bye.
You don't think I get to drink? Well, what's this right here? It's wine. And guess what? I didn't sign any forms. Aha! Avatar away! We left through the back entrance, and here is a little walkway that leads to this area again. Now, we could go up there if we wanted to, or we could go to here. I believe here is a general provisions store. Yep, that is a torch, which tells me general provisioners. Hello.
My name is James, and welcome to my shop. Say, have you heard about the big trial?
I have, but I'd like to hear what you know about it.
What do you know about it?
The murder trial.
Murder, huh?
Yeah, apparently some pirate woman named Rachel slaughtered a bunch of children in Britain. Can you believe that? She's going to burn for sure.
I don't actually think that's anything that happened.
Do you believe this woman will be dealt with fairly?
Well, this is the city of justice. That's what we do here. Still, there are some people who will sue over anything. By the stars, I myself am being sued.
What are you being sued for? And by who?
By whom?
A fellow here in town lost his house to a fire. He claims that the fire was started by a torch that he bought from me. I think that is ridiculous. How can I be responsible for a torch after it leaves my shop? The blasted thing is supposed to burn. But I'm not worried, you see, because I'm going to sue the guy that's suing me.
You're going to sue him?
Yeah, for hurting my business with his frivolous lawsuit.
I can see that devolving very quickly into absolute farce. And you're all going to be very broke before long through all the fees for suing each other.
Do you often have trials here in U?
This being the city of justice, we have trials here all of the time, especially here lately. Still, this murder trial is the biggest one we've had in years.
It's also the most absurd one you've had in years because there's no evidence. It's just, hey, this totally happened, right? This is something definitely worth mentioning because there's been a lot of trials of late.
It seems like there are a lot of trials in this town.
Well, this is the city of justice. That's what we do here. Still, there are some people who will sue over anything. By the stars, I myself am being sued.
So that's a different way to get to that dialogue. Fair enough. Let's see if we can get something here.
Perhaps I'd best acquire provisions and go to this trial.
Sounds like a good plan. We can get a torch, a lantern, a candle, ooh, spells. A freeze spell and a frost storm spell. Those seem pretty good. Let's double check that we don't have the freeze spell already first.
What else can I do for you?
Can we sell anything?
I would like to sell some items.
We can sell... not a whole lot. We can sell the fireball scroll, and we might actually have to if we want to keep those spells that we're going to buy.
What else can I do for you?
So, let's go.
I've got to go. Goodbye, James.
Now let's check what we have in our inventory. Well, first things first, we're going to put that there. And as funny as this book is, we do need the space. And I think we've gained all the learning that we can. So we're just going to put this here, be charged with littering, and have a look at our scrolls. No free scroll there. Accidentally tried to move that. Accidentally tried to move that one. No free scroll at all. So let's buy those, and you briefly popped out of existence there.
My name is James.
Let's quickly buy those scrolls.
Yes, I'd just like to acquire provisions.
Marvelous. We'll buy a freeze spell and a frost storm spell.
What else can I do for you?
Nothing at the moment, thank you.
I've got to go. Goodbye, James.
Now let us keep exploring around. Now there is one building we don't want to go into right now, and it is that one. Because that one is plot related, and we haven't done what we need to have a conversation there yet. So we'll avoid there, and instead we'll go and look in here. Looks like a pretty important building. That said, there isn't a sign, but we may get some plot. There's a bed. And there is a book. Gargoyle Like Me, by Darroch. Within this work lies a fascinating novel of a human who poses as a gargoyle to view what life is like from the Gargish point of view. The story is a remarkable mix of historical and entertaining facts from encounters with many gargoyles. A particular emphasis of the work is the importance of the gargoyle family structure. As there is no evidence of gargoyles having a gender, it is odd how close father gargoyles maintain a relationship with their, presumably, adopted sons. The attitude seems similar to that of how more intelligent winged gargoyles treat the wingless. There is an air of condescension, but the feelings of care still exist, as if the wingless were children to be protected and watched over by the winged. Curious. Now, is this something we can read? Ah, it's a map of Britain. Fair enough. There's also a few trinkets there, and not a whole lot else. There's that area there that we could go to, but I don't feel like that's a place we need to. So, let's head down to ground level and go to the northeast, because that's where we were told the courthouse is. So, let's go. There's a bird, and northeast is that way. So let's go this way. Hopefully we don't need to use that system to get across. There looks to be a few. Ooh, there's a treasure chest right there. That looks nice. Let's go check it out. If that is, we can get over. And we can. Brilliant. Is this going to be a mimic? Now, someone mentioned, by the way, that the crabs, the ones that I've been unable to defeat as of yet, are actually very weak to piercing weapons, which my flame sword is, so we'll be giving that a try next time. Ooh, a huge pile of gold. No one's gonna mind if I take this? Nope. Excellent. Let's keep looking around. Now, we need to also go to the northeast to find a creature that may be able to give us the sigil. Ooh, now we can test that theory out. Also, those fish there, not doing so well. Not much we can do to help them, though. Let's save, and I will equip the flame sword and see what happens. Also, somebody else mentioned that spells like the light spell, they can be deactivated by using the spell again. Really should have been doing that. Right, we'll get out this weapon, and we'll have at thee! You think you can defeat me? Well, you can't! Just gonna hit you here. Aha! You're backing up, are you? Would you like to charge again? I'm not so sure about that. I'm just gonna back up into this net. Here comes the crab! Have at thee! This actually is doing a pretty good job. Oh, you're not actually trying to hit me. Now, I don't know how many hits this is going to take, because even though we are dealing a fair amount of damage, we are... and there we go! Oh! And we gained a fair amount of money there, 81 coins. There is a small chance, I've been told, and I now recall, that the crabs will drop plate armor. It is a small chance, mind you. I'm going to have to leave you fish to it, unfortunately. We have more exploring to do. Mainly over here. There appears to be a path. There are also some goats. And a small farm. Let's go talk to the farmer. This is not the way we're meant to get into here. Also, we have to go around that wheat. Hello.
Are you the one?
The one?
Which one?
The one who's been stealing my pumpkins. I know it's you.
No.
I didn't steal your pumpkins.
Well, someone has. And I've heard. The man looks something like you.
I didn't steal the pumpkins. I literally just got here. Also, there are many ways that we can make this worse. Like deciding to attack. Let's not do that. I mean, he is armed with carrots, and carrots are deadly, but we're not going to fight here.
I assure you that I am not the culprit.
And if you don't remove yourself from these premises, I'll have you arrested, pumpkin thief.
I don't think we're going to be able to persuade him. So let us look around and then carry on exploring. To leave, we're going to have to go this way, so you don't mind if I go through your house, do you? No? Excellent. Anything in here? There is a small pile of thread there. A few bits of food. Nothing especially interesting, so let's leave and carry on. That could actually very well be the courthouse now I think about it. But before we go to the courthouse, we're going to head to the northeast and go and find that hilltop. Ooh, looks to be an important area over here. Well, it may not actually be important, but it certainly is marked as a place of interest. Let's go this way. Ah, this is the courthouse. Interesting. There's also the Sargulem there. Let's actually go here while we're here and oversee that trial. Also, lots of noise for not a lot of people.
I have heard all evidence. Does anyone have anything further to add?
Your Honor, I swear to you, I am innocent.
That will do.
But, sir...
I said that will do. As I was saying, it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jean-Paul, being the tavern keeper, did purposely and with malicious intent allow one of his patrons to become intoxicated with ale. The defendant did not effectively warn the plaintiff that the plaintiff could, under the influence of the defendant's ale, act recklessly and without thought to personal injury.
But, Your Honor...
That will be enough. I find the tavern keeper's actions unconscionable. I find the defendant guilty as charged. Jean-Paul, keeper of the Tavern of You, I sentence you to prison to await your fate. Death by fire.
No, it can't be.
Ah, but it is.
Seems a bit excessive.
The court is now ready to hear the next case. Who brings this case into court?
to proclaim that I, Vasagrilum, do bring forth this case.
Very well. Who stands accused, and what are the charges?
Do hereby accuse the pirate wench known as Raven of the willful and wanton destruction of the gargoyle race. To state specifically that she knowingly and intentionally brought down the glorious dome that protected the city of Ambrosia. To drown the inhabitants of the proud gargoyle city. And to further state that to ensure the death of the gargoyle race, Raven did then kill the gargoyle queen, thus making the reproduction of gargoyles impossible. To finally state her most heinous crime, to ensure the destruction of future generations of gargoyles, this Raven did destroy the Agnes. To state that Raven is guilty of all of these crimes, and of the destruction of a proud race.
Defendant, you are charged with the crime of genocide, the willful destruction of an entire race. How do you plead?
Wait a minute, Your Honor. I have something to say.
Silence! I will not tolerate such outbursts in my court. Now, how does the defendant plead?
Does it really matter how I plead?
The defendant will respect this court and enter her plea, or she will be harshly punished.
Fine, let's get this over with. I plead guilty.
No. Your Honor, she didn't do any of those things. I did them.
I told you to be quiet. She's obviously guilty. She just said that she is. One more word from you, and you will be held in contempt, the punishment for which is death at the stake. Now be quiet. Raven, this court finds you guilty of the crime of genocide. You are to be burned at the stake until you are dead. You are to be transported to the prison wrong immediately, until such time as your sentence is carried out. Do you have any final words?
Yeah. Piss on your justice.
Very well. You've made it easy on this court to order your death. Bailiff, take her away.
Question. Why was the person who was charged for the intoxication thing teleported away, but Raven was walked away? Surely, with the charges that were leveled against her, she's more dangerous. Also, this is the worst court I've ever seen, because if somebody walked up and went, hey, she totally didn't do this, I did it, surely the court would listen to that person, but no, this person isn't actually exerting justice of any real kind. I mean, the person who was guilty, apparently, of the intoxication thing is going to be burned. That is entirely absurd. We're going to have a conversation with you in a moment, and Vasagrilem has disappeared. We're going to have to find Vasagrilem and talk to him about just why he thinks what has happened. Because it didn't. We did it. We also didn't actually do it. It was more the gargoyles did it to themselves, but we were still involved. Raven wasn't even there. And so, when we come back, folks, the weather has improved dramatically. Maybe it rained for cinematic effect. And we're going to have a conversation with you, then go find this creature that may be able to give us the sigil, and then we're going to see about getting Raven free. I doubt talking to you is going to do that. We're probably going to have to do something a bit more sneaky. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.